Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Apple Watch Series 5 and let's go and just see how this particular Apple Watch holds up in 2024. I definitely do think this is a very, very good watch to, still buy in the, for the most part if you still want an Apple Watch, but there might be some reasons why you probably want to go and upgrade to maybe a Series 7 or a Series 8 in the used market. If you want to pick up some of those Apple Watches, I'd recommend, buying those for the most part. Links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now starting off with the outside of the Apple Watch Series 5, you can see on the front of this thing, we basically have two different sized Apple Watches we can buy, a 40mm size and then a 44mm size. I definitely do think that with this Apple Watch, it's a very, very good, Apple Watch and I like it a lot. This is a watch that I would look at and still, be very happy with. And I think that's a very good advantage for this type of watch. So for one, you're getting it in a very good build quality, and the size of this thing in terms of like the big, the size of it in your hand or whatever is about the same size that you're going to be getting on the current generation Apple Watches. It's just the screen is slightly smaller on this thing, which isn't the biggest deal in the world, but it can be a small thing, if you're like have a comparison syndrome or whatever, but it still gets fairly bright. And I definitely am a fan of the way this Apple Watch still looks on the front. On the side, you have that digital crown on the top and that side button on the side of this thing. And I would still say from that perspective too, it's a very good looking watch. I think this is a very good thing. Like when you're buying a watch like this, these watches look very good and they still feel and perform very, very good as well. So that's something that I like. On the back side, you have that wireless charging pad. So you can just go ahead and slap this thing on a wireless charger and let it charge up. And that's a really cool thing going on for this thing. Now you have the bands at the top and bottom. So you can easily go ahead and just connect this band to the top and bottom of this thing and switch bands out and put new ones in if you want to. And the cool thing is that all the other Apple Watches that are currently available all still support the same exact bands as well. So you can actually go through and just, plug and play with these bands. And that's something that's actually genuinely really cool with this particular watch. So that right there is another really good advantage for this type of watch. And, it still feels and looks very good. And definitely for me, from my side, I definitely do like the way the Apple Watch Series 5 looks without a doubt. Now, in terms of the internals, this thing still has that Apple S5 chip inside of it, which is a very good, watch to have and a chipset to have. And to be honest, I'm still using my Apple Watch Series 4 from 2018 or 19, whenever this Apple Watch came out. That was so many years ago. And the fact that this particular watch still holds up this well is insane. The fact that this particular watch, the Apple Watch Series 5, came out so many years ago and I'm still talking about it and you're still watching these videos, shows that there's still a big, community behind this Apple Watch. And I definitely do think from a performance, side, the Series 4 is still fine for me. I think the Series 5 will definitely be perfectly fine for the average person watching this. I think from software longevity too, this is another big thing. Because with watchOS updates, they're actually very important. You get a lot of cool features here and there. Although it's not really the biggest change from one watchOS version to the other every year now, the last couple of watchOS updates were actually pretty big. And I think that's a pretty big advantage for buying an Apple Watch Series 5 in this day and age, because you're still getting a device that's still supported. So you can easily still buy the next, Apple Watch if you want to and get an even more, updated, watch. But this thing is still supported with software. And I genuinely do think that's a really cool advantage for this type of watch because it's still supported and you're getting all those cool little features. The big thing though is, what are you going to do with your Apple Watch? If you're planning on doing some very, very intensive stuff and playing big, massive games on your Apple Watch or like whatever the case is, well then you might be better off if you purchase a newer, Apple Watch for the most part. But I will tell you, from everything I've ever done with my Apple Watch, the typical things I do is just like check notifications. I go through and, see what I'm, if I'm getting a call, if I'm getting a FaceTime, I will check my Apple Watch for that. And maybe like I'll do some other things here and there, like maybe like I'll ask Siri to do something, but even that is like so few and far between. I very rarely ever do those things. I'm mostly tracking workouts and like doing things like that. And for the most part, my Apple Watch Series 5 has been perfectly fine. Like I've had a really good time with a specific watch from that perspective. And that's something I actually like a lot. Without a doubt, if I'm going to use my Apple Watch, in general, including my Series 5, I love having an Apple Watch like this, that's this compatible, that's this great, because it can still handle everything I throw at it. And I just wish this thing would last forever. So in my opinion, the Apple Watch Series 5 is still worth buying in 2024. But if you have the money or if you have the ability of kind of buying an Apple Watch Series 7 or above, I definitely recommend going down that direction because the Series 7 did bring some pretty cool improvements. And I'd probably recommend buying that watch over this one. But this one is still a very good mix of being an older Apple Watch that's still, a fairly good price in the used market. So in terms of that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.